Hi, my name's Kyle Ringo. This is Ryan Thorburn. We cover a football team that actually won a road game. Can you believe it, Ryan?
I can believe it. I obviously picked the Buffs to beat UCLA and to get crushed by Utah, and it was the opposite. But I think it was time to get it done, and I'm glad we don't have to ask Jon Embree about that next September.
Yeah, I was amazed in Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake last week at what unfolded before me. I have not seen the Buffs play that kind of football on the road in a long, long time, and it was good to see. I don't know if it'll stand the test of time and actually springboard them into the 2012 season. That's a long time from now. It's more than 9 months from game day to the next game day, but it was nice to see those seniors go out with a win. It was nice to see this new coaching staff get a win on the road, and like you said, I'm sick and tired of writing about that road losing streak. So it was nice to put that to bed. Now we go into another long off season. No bowl game again for the Buffs, and another December at home. What do the Buffs need to do between now and September of next year to get themselves in better position to achieve next year's goal, which they said today was making it to a bowl game?
Well, I think they're off to a good start because Jon Embree has kind of established like a 10-person leadership council of guys like John Major that are coming back, who have great work ethic and feel like it's time to get to a bowl game. I think the players kind of set that as the goal for a bowl game next year, and John just kind of learned about it from them, and he's on board with it. So I think they have to have a great offseason. I think spring football is going to be difficult because they lose 28 seniors, and there's just not going to be enough defensive linemen and other positions maybe to even have a spring game. So that'll be difficult, but I think with the experience of this season, surviving it will make the returning guys stronger, and then when you get some more talent with some freshmen this September, I think, and a schedule that isn't quite as difficult, I think there's a lot of positives moving forward.
Yeah, you've covered football just like I have at a lot of different levels. You spent a lot of time covering NFL football, and as you know, anytime you go into a season where it's not a sure thing who the quarterback is, that sort of dominates discussion around any football team, as it has, as we've seen with the Denver Broncos this year, and the way things started with Orton and Tebow, Orton, and now it's obviously Tebow. But this Buffs team is going to go into the spring with a quarterback competition between Connor Wood, Nick Hirschman, and a few other younger guys. Brent Burnett will be a senior next year. He's the junior college guy. It's going to be interesting just to talk about that and see who emerges. I know you think that Connor Wood is the guy. A lot of people think Connor Wood is the guy. He's a guy who was a 4-star recruit, signed with Texas, and anytime you have a guy who signed with Texas go to a program like Colorado, there's big expectations for that guy. But do you expect that to dominate sort of the discussion between now and fall camp?
Yeah, I think so, and I think they're going to have some success given that the defense is going to be a little shorthanded during the spring. The reason I like Connor Wood, besides the fact that he's a highly recruited guy and was basically tied with McCoy on the depth chart at Texas, who's turned into a good player already. The reason I like him is his work ethic. He's the last guy off the practice field this season. His arm is very strong. I watched him after practice hit some bombs to walk-on receivers. They usually dropped them, but once he's thrown those to talented guys, I think he's got an it factor and he's got the talent to be a really good Pac-12 quarterback. And what I like about it from a competition perspective is, let's face it, Nick has been in the system longer. He's got a little head start, and he's had snaps with the Buffs in live games. So I think it's going to be a good competition. I just think in the end, Wood is probably a better quarterback.
The thing I like about Wood is his leadership. He's already a guy that you can talk to, a guy who's approachable, sort of welcomes, conversations, the media, and he showed leadership this year by spending his own money to travel to several of, I don't know if he got to all the Buffs away games from the point he joined the program, but I know that he went to several of them on his own dime just to be there, support his team, and let his teammates know that he was there with them. And that's huge to me. I think that probably says a lot to his teammates about who he is and how invested he is and whatnot after transferring. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, the next couple of months will be dominated by recruiting, but spring football starts March 10th, and that quarterback issue will be at the top of the list for these coaches to sort out. I'd be very surprised if they have it sorted out before going into August camp. They're going to add another talented quarterback in true freshman Shane Dillon out of California when August camp rolls around. So that'll just take the level of competition to another level there. So it's going to be an exciting offseason, I think, especially coming off a win and winning 2 out of 3 down the stretch.
Before we go, we're heading into recruiting season. UCLA has fired its coach. Arizona has fired its coach. Arizona State has fired its coach. Washington State from the north. Do you think, given that it's USC and everyone else in the south, that gives Jon a leg up in recruiting right now?
It should. I definitely think it does. I mean, there's stability here at Colorado. Recruits know that Jon Embree, Eric Bieniemy, these coaches are going to be here for at least the next probably 3, maybe 4 years at the very least, and if they keep getting better, longer than that, and you know, that on top of all the other things that Colorado has to offer, including early playing time. Right now, early playing time is probably at the top of the list for a lot of guys. I don't see why. You know, last year on National Signing Day, Embree talked a lot about being able to flip a few recruits from various schools, especially Washington, and get them to come to CU. I wouldn't be surprised if on National Signing Day, February 1st, he's doing the same thing, talking about getting guys to come from those programs that you mentioned, the UCLA's, Arizona schools, to be Buffs. And you know, I think any smart coaching staff would take that approach.
All right, so we'll check in with you guys recruiting week, and until then, keep track of basketball and other happenings on buffzone.com.